All right, welcome to the Open RuneScape Classic podcast. Number who knows what. It's been a few months. Today, this is October 19th, 2021. And we have Keenix, Log, and myself, Marwolf. So go ahead and take it away. Here we are, Keenix here in Lumbridge. I don't know where Log might be. Invisible.
Oh, I don't think he's online in game.
No, I'm not in line in game.
You should.
Oh.
So, given that it's really close to Halloween and all of that, we do have some things planned.
That's right. There is going to be a custom quest on the Cabbage server and also Coleslaw.
Now, preservation is probably doing sites, I believe, right?
Yeah, sites. We did drop them last year, but we had a vote around Easter that we would redrop all tradables. So sites are being redropped.
40 coins for one pumpkin? I think that's a pretty good offer. It's the only pumpkin in existence on RSC Uranium right now. I just sold it to Keenix.
I think you were using them as food last podcast.
Item pumpkin. The pumpkins are pretty tasty.
They are.
Actually, I can't eat this pumpkin.
So also, for some reason, the code to allow you to trade non-tradables doesn't work on Uranium anymore.
Trade non-tradables.
Like if you're an admin, you can get around that.
Well, if you're on the RSC Plus client, I think it's like a client-sided feature. Yeah.
Also,
that
you know
was
what?
removed in the non-authentic client.
Yes.
You know what, Marwolf? If there's more pumpkins out there, I think they're worth less money than they used to be. So 35 coins is all you're gonna get. Take it or leave it.
Yeah, there's a certain thing here in RC Plus, and I'm scrolling, I don't really see the entry, but whatever. It's the protects you from eating holiday objects.
That's right.
So that's why
You
I
can
couldn't
turn that
eat it.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
you
using
can
the
turn that
launcher
off
client.
without the what? The launcher client?
Yeah, I'm using the launcher client.
What?
So cool.
Like the original
So good.
RSC client.
Oh, you're using that client's called WinRune.
I'm using WinRune. Fine.
Yeah.
Mud Client 38?
Wait, what?
Do you have the BDIs? So if you're using WinRune, that's the 2001 Scape client.
WinRune got expanded from just being the 2003 client to also being a 2001 client.
Yeah, and Mud Client 28 or Mud Client 38 is really
WinRune is a wrapper for Mud Client 177 and Mud Client 38.
That's interesting. That's new to me.
Both of those clients are like really old, so they need a wrapper around them because they're expecting like a 20 pixel title bar from like Windows 98. And if you don't like put it in a frame, then the top gets cut off on modern operating systems.
That's interesting, actually.
Yeah.
So there's been talk that the next podcast might be on the 31st. Oh my god.
It could be. It could happen.
Yeah, so a special
Someone spawn a reset crystal.
item reset spate, maybe dot crystal.
So the other part,
or without or not.
Yeah, I got it.
is that there's been some discussion on how exactly to handle holiday drops on RSC Uranium.
There you go. Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, there's been some feedback that says a lot of people may want rares to actually be rare on RSC Uranium.
Almost everyone I've talked to
says they want it
basically,
to be rare.
it would be more fun if rares were rares and not holiday items.
So
So
dropping once an hour every hour?
it's going to be too much. There's going to be a flood of the market. So, in concert with that, we're talking about doing a podcast on Halloween, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, why don't we manually give out all of the rares on Halloween in the podcast?
Honestly, that's what RSC Vanilla did. They handed out rares in small quantities and only one time. And the feedback from that was that players really didn't get a chance to get a rare, and they thought it was unfair who the admins handed them out to, and that it was just too rare. And I think that we really want to go that route as
So I
the
would have
method of handing
four
out.
pieces of feedback to that, right? I would have 4 different pieces of feedback. The first is that you, Log, have mentioned an idea to allow people to collect from the bankers based upon their total level. Like if just as an example, say every 100 total levels you have, you get 1 pumpkin, right? Or every 200 total levels, you get a pumpkin.
Well, that's an interesting idea. I was thinking of just a threshold, but you're right, you could do tiers like that.
Yes, every 100, 200, 150, however many we deem as fair, you can do that as the primary way to get some rares out there. Probably 200 based upon what I'm hearing with how people want to be rare, right? So that would be the first part of feedback, is that everybody can get one as long as you log in at some point during Halloween and talk to the banker, right? Second...
No, the bank, it could hold on to it for a while. The banker could hold on to it for 2 weeks. We could just set a variable that you have a claim to pumpkins.
For 2 weeks.
Yeah, right.
Well, you have a claim to X number of pumpkins.
Because one thing about holiday drops is that they punish people that just aren't available on that day.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it is nice to let people log in at their leisure.
If we did it at a long time frame, say 2 weeks, I do feel like we would have to limit the number more. Maybe say every 250 levels you get a pumpkin. What's the total max? 1,800, right? So somebody can theoretically get 7 pumpkins if it's 250.
I was thinking after some threshold, it's just 5 pumpkins.
You could do that.
But I'm not against tiers either.
And we'd automate this with an NPC?
We'd automate this a few different ways.
It would be a SQL query.
Okay.
We're not gonna have code in the server to detect this layer. That's too messy. This is a one-time operation.
We set a cache value and
and
the banker checks, is the time frame October 31st through, November 10th, whatever we decide.
Right.
And then you can
claim
a number of pumpkins
that cache
value. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. You claim a number of pumpkins equal to the cache value.
So that lets everyone that actually plays the game. And I don't think we can do it IP based because people are using many IP addresses, and that's
No, I think this is a character.
You can get it's per character. However many.
I do think you have to have a minimum levels to even start to get pumpkins.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. We
so creating a new character doesn't give you 1. You have to get that character to X levels.
Yep.
At a minimum, and then you get 1. Right.
Maybe hits, or what would we use the level?
Sorry. What was that?
So what if they're a 99 fisher, but they're level 1 for everything else?
Right.
So it would be total skill level.
Okay.
If you have I was thinking that 99 would qualify you for pumpkins.
If you have 99 in any one skill?
If you have 99 in any one skill, that's a real character, and they can get pumpkins.
Yeah, that's probably true. Either, 500 total level or any 99.
Right.
I
Yeah,
personally
exactly.
like the idea of tiering it, where every 200 to 250 levels you get a pumpkin. I personally
Yeah,
like that.
it could work that way, like minimum 500 plus another however many pumpkins every 250 total.
Well, I say 250. Like just for each 250 total level, you get a pumpkin.
Yeah.
I would say that. Like even a character
Okay.
that has 250 gets one pumpkin. Somebody who has 500 gets two pumpkins, etc., etc. Just my opinion. We can do it any number of
Well,
ways.
yeah, the problem is with total is like if I were trying to manipulate that system, I'd make a bunch of accounts and get them to 250, which is easy.
It is easy, but I would actually be fine with somebody farming them that way.
Yeah, so it's gonna be like very.
Because then they have to make a character that basically does nothing, and the character's purpose is farming pumpkins. So they're using up their slots for doing other things to farm pumpkins. I'm actually okay with that.
Right. So I'm thinking like because there's not that much time to Halloween, and where there's like it takes time to build an account. The thresholds would be like lower for this Halloween versus higher for Christmas crackers coming out in 2 months. Because then they'll actually have time to like react to this like kind of unique and complicated system that we're proposing here.
Right, and to be clear to anybody listening, this is all a proposal. None of this is set in stone.
I mean, I feel like it is what we're gonna do, but
I do too. But there's also room for people to leave comments and all that.
Yeah,
and I would like to do at least one 30-second long world drop, just so people have the experience of like tons of pumpkins on the ground.
I'm not so. I'm not sold on that. I'm sold on giving everybody a few. I'm sold on us manually giving out as many as we can, right?
Yeah.
Within reason, like we only give the same character X number, right? But
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I guess how many it is. We do have to keep in mind that this is, not a flash in the pan. Not a flash. That too. But this is not a flash in the pan server. It's intended to be up for decades.
Right.
We're looking at not, actually making. We're not going to drop these again. They're actually going to be discontinued items.
Well, yeah. I mean, I personally see the goal as like maybe there being 500 or less pumpkins. I see that as
that's like very small amounts.
Well, think about how many actual people are playing it. What, 50? Give or take, 50 people are playing. Each person gets 6 on average. I mean, that's a low number. It's probably going to actually be closer to 1,000. Yeah. Even at 1,000, these rares aren't rare.
Well, it's also like there's not. If that's the real numbers, is like 50 people, which sounds maybe right.
It's in the realm. Right?
Yeah, then it's not like these rare items are in the hands of a lot of people either. So as years go by, people will quit, and they'll get like very rare compared to like the original RuneScape.
Because we're never going to have 100,000 people.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
we might have 100 people. So
yeah, well, people will join in the future, and people will quit that play currently. A lot easier for everyone who played in 2021 to quit than for the original RuneScape, because there were so many more people.
Yeah, once we get some of the code in there for such as NPC catching, or just PK catching, and once we've got some more testing and we've implemented that.
Testing is good. People will say it's like kosher and like excellent.
Yeah,
why don't we get that code in?
Yeah, why don't we? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, once we do have that,
I already wrote it all.
LOL.
Yeah, once we have that merged in, and it's going to become more important to those PKing and trying to stake. They might want to stake their pumpkins, and these are limited edition items that are going to become rather important for those trying to, Then again, this Christmas when we have Christmas, party crackers and then party hats, that will be limited. And overall, right now there's 27 unique online on Uranium.
The most I've ever seen was like 50, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's probably actually 100 people playing on and off, right? That represents probably about that.
On average, it's roughly 250, 300 players online and distributed across maybe 27, 30, 35 people, or at least unique IP addresses, whatever it may be. But either way, that's still there's a number of people that aren't on right now that were on before that'll come back, and
exactly.
We'll
that's
continue.
What I'm saying. There's probably 75, 100, unique people who play or have played regularly. Right.
There's at least 1,200 in the Discord. We certainly can fit plenty more, and as we build out with different games like 2001 Escape and OpenPK, as we come up with more custom quests and items and content with Cabbage, which also will be in Coleslaw, I think we certainly have much more to build out.
Yeah, I would certainly, for say 100 total players, I would try to aim to be at 1,000 or under pumpkins, and probably 1,000 pumpkins would be picked up in a body world in a one single 30-second drop, right? So
we can certainly list the number of items per game that are considered rare or limited.
We used to have that.
Yep, we can have that on the website again. I can certainly build that out.
So that's number one. That's number one addressing of the concern that Log brought up, that we can have a cash value, be able to hand out pumpkins to people who aren't there, right? Number two, the concern, the player base of Uranium is a different player base to Preservation / RSC Vanilla.
Yeah, RC Preservation.
The player base between, Preservation / Vanilla and Uranium are two different types of players, right?
Yep.
So on Vanilla, they may not want the rares to be rare. They may want them to be more common because everybody's actually going to be playing with them, actually going to be using them. But on Uranium, the goal is to stake them. And
yes.
I've heard that people that played Vanilla didn't feel that it was very fair. It was just too rare.
Right.
And I don't think these rare items have to be immediately rare because the server is going to be online for decades, is the plan. And I mean, if I'm alive, I'm going to make sure it's up for decades.
I will as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure Marwolf will too.
Right.
And Luis also. Any one of us four will make sure that continues.
Yeah.
Even if one of us is gone for months, we're never gone for good, right? So
it doesn't have to be immediately rare. It will happen, as long as they aren't dropped again, which is not going to happen.
Well, I mean, think about Preservation. You can still get any of these items. And
Preservation, we bombed Preservation with so many rares. I thought
but that's
it was
what
great.
people wanted.
I mean, it's great when you go in the bank and you have like 1,000 pumpkins.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
That's what people wanted, and we gave that crowd what they wanted, and I think now we need to give the Uranium crowd what they want.
Yeah, it'll be less for sure, which isn't saying much, but it's going to be drastically less.
And then
I had a few more things to address the Shady Cream issue, but I don't remember what they were now. So.
Well, with Cabbage, RSC Cabbage, and Coleslaw, we're not quite going to just go through what we're planning for the items and or quest, but we have something in the works that Ryan Log have been working on.
That's right.
So there's a little thing to be looking out for.
It's going to be a little mini quest. There will be unique rewards not found in any other private server as far as I know.
I should hope so.
Maybe a certain character.
I mean, I don't play the other servers, so I don't actually know, but these are our original ideas.
These are our OCs, please do not see.
Yeah.
We might have a certain NPC that's named similar to a well-known player.
Maybe.
I can neither confirm nor deny that. But yeah, I'm excited for the pumpkin drop on Uranium. And as far as the fairness goes, like, we're not gonna be picking favorites when we give out the pumpkins manually on the 31st, if that's what we decide to do. Like, we're gonna give them to everybody we see.
Yeah.
We're just only gonna give a few to everybody we see, right?
It's why I like doing it by total level, because it's like innately fair. It's people that play the game get pumped.
But I think total level innately fair, plus people who happen to be online and interacting with us, they get a bonus.
Cool. It would be cool. Yeah.
So would it
Those
be
people get a bonus?
The admins, anyway, for sure.
Would it be good for us to do a Halloween celebration on each game world and invite people at a certain time, or just one world?
No, I think all worlds would make sense. Even the non-botting worlds, we can try to set up a time on that date to say, hey, we'll be in game, on Cabbage at whatever time, and then we'll be, on Uranium at whatever time.
Yeah, maybe we could have a special Halloween spook cast, and during that we could do the login and have people join us.
Yeah.
Maybe around 8 p.m. Eastern time, October 31st.
Yeah, we could do something like that for sure. And maybe try to drive people to certain parts of the world that they don't normally see, right? Maybe, like one world, everybody meets up at Draenor Castle, right?
Draenor Castle.
Where you kill the
Draenor Manor. Right.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
It is a very large castle-like structure.
Right.
I mean, it might look more like a castle than Lumbridge Castle.
It looks like a castle, but it is called Draenor Manor. You are right.
And it's not terribly hard to get to. Any level can make it safely.
Right.
I think we should do a different location for each server, though.
Well, this really is the spookiest spot to be.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We have to do at least one server there, right? So, and obviously, to make it more fair, we'll announce where we'll be. And obviously we'll also move around to hit the people who didn't, get the memo, right? So I think we can do it in a fair way to hand out stuff manually. And even if it's not fair, we have a fair method already, which is total level. And you can just consider the manual handouts, a bonus.
Maybe we could do a little party down in the basement with the vampire coffin.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
With the count.
That's the fun, small area to gather lots of people. Yes.
Fine. Maybe a drop party.
Yes.
Right?
A drop party down there. That'd be funny.
Not necessarily down with a vampire, but a drop party like in Sears.
Oh, it's bigger than I remember. It's okay down here.
Well, it doesn't have the magical chest.
What magical
we
chest?
We could spawn the chest. What if the coffin was the chest?
So we could do that. We just have to add in code to make it behave like that, right? So, but we could make the coffin behave like the party chest.
Huh. We certainly could.
I mean, upstairs there's still a lot of room.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of in this area right here, but now there's the stairwell. Oops. And what's over here? This down. Oh, the darn maze. If you can make it through the maze, you get the prize.
You make it to the maze.
You get the water. You get the oil can.
You get a pumpkin.
You get a pumpkin. Anybody who makes it through the maze gets a pumpkin.
Yeah.
can also decorate it with like more cobwebs and stuff for Halloween. Those are just
Yeah.
objects, right? So we can just
Yeah,
spawn
they're
some.
wall objects.
No, those don't look like wall objects. They look like regular objects.
Yeah, the web. This little web here.
Yeah.
Oh, those webs.
Yeah, we can just add them manually. Add
Talking
more.
about the sliceable.
And wherever we, like for other servers, decide to do a party, we can just spawn cobwebs and stuff like that there.
I mean, there were ghosts, so it'd be limiting for some of the lower level players, but we could have a party appear at the ghosts.
We could. I mean, for the botting world, that wouldn't be a big problem. Like for, say, coleslaw,
yeah.
for example. That's not going to be a problem for coleslaw.
I mean, I guess the first floor is safe for all the players.
The library would be a pretty cool place, too.
Right here with the little rat.
Yeah. That'd be kind of cool, right? Oh, another cool place would be the Varrock Museum.
But it's spooky.
I mean, if we decorate it, I don't see why not, right?
Yeah, we could do that.
We can decorate anywhere, right? So, you know, spawn bones, shit like that. Spawn spider webs.
Can we spawn objects anymore in game with commands? I thought we took that out.
Did we?
Yeah.
No, the object.
Object 111. We're not getting any commands because it's a JSON spawn item when the server starts up.
I think
got
it's
all
add
the-
object. Or create object, one of the two. That's what it used to be like 2 years ago.
Okay.
Try
I took
that.
all the SQL stuff out of it, but it still exists.
Yeah, there we
Oh,
go.
there you go. Yeah.
I made a tree.
So yeah, we can just spawn those and decorate it, right?
So then how do you delete an object?
It's an object or our scenery. I think I had an alien for that.
I used to make so many aliases my main commands.
Our scenery.
Just do our scenery without any arguments. It should get the current coordinates.
Yeah, perfect.
It does get the coordinates. Yeah, that's what I thought. It gets where you are in the world right now. That's what I did at least 2 years ago.
So it doesn't pull the name. It has the ID number, but that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, we can always decorate before we show up. We can decorate Sears for one of the servers. We can decorate Vera. That's
Yeah, it's Control H.
is that like what is the collision?
Oh, the hitboxes.
That's right, hitboxes.
I mean, RSC doesn't really have any hitboxes.
Yeah, well, if you hit Control H, you can see them. It's hitboxes with your mouse, not like.
Oh, with your mouse. Yeah, got it.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that makes a lot more sense.
yeah, where you can click to click on the thing.
So that's actually what's known as a picking bound.
Picking bound. Thank you,
Yeah.
Kina.
24. So portrait is coming to us 24.0. This is 24.2 for web.
You're not at the same coordinates. There you go.
Create object 24.2.
20. It just do 24.
I did that, and it was the portrait.
What are you trying to create?
So 56. 2 is that's covered.
Oh,
was
I
trying
don't
to
know what
create
the
web.
22 is actually. Just do
24.3, 24.2. Maybe 2 is the angle?
Oh no, I think it's the rotation.
And yet 24 would spawn the picture.
Try it
Yeah,
again.
I think it's a wall object.
It might log might be right. It might be a wall object.
Okay. That might be a problem then
A
for
wall scenery.
Now,
Boundary.
we can cut the web.
Boundary, yes.
It's been a minute. Boundary is the right term.
I think there is a C boundary.
Really, you actually made that alias? I'm
I
surprised.
think I did.
You hated it when I called it boundary.
I'm in on it now.
Really?
Yeah, boundaries fine. I like it.
Why am I always ahead of the curve in like everything?
You're just so smart, Keenan.
Like, no, I'm serious. In the Zelda project, people are finally like coming to terms with like the fact that I was right about, say, extracting the assembly from the ROM rather than storing it in the repository. Like, people are finally starting to come around to that kind of idea too. Like,
Right.
I found myself. People are finding that I'm right. I don't know. Whatever. I just find it funny. I do know those are boundaries. The ones that you're there, those are boundaries.
Yeah.
I do know that.
24, 24, 20.
It's got to be the rotation.
Yep.
Roofs are now shown. What was it? Control H. There we go. So, if you can cut the web, then the web is something you can interact with, like a door. I guess maybe
It's
that's
a boundary.
Darn.
Doors are also boundaries. So it is more or less a door.
Yeah.
It's a door with like a special passcode to enter.
Darn. Well, we could always decorate with fungus and dead trees. And
Yeah. I mean, we can spawn the spider webs. We just need to make a command to spawn boundaries, right?
I feel like it does exist.
I'm sure it does too. It's probably called wall object though, because we didn't know any better 2 years ago. Not even I knew any better that long ago. So.
Do you know it is called wall scenery on the wiki? And I feel like that's like from before 2 years ago.
It might be. I actually don't know. I also did not know it was called wall scenery on the wiki.
Yeah, it's called scenery on the wiki too.
Scenery is a lot better than object.
It is. So much better.
Now, the only thing I will say, every other game calls what RuneScape calls scenery objects.
Uh-huh.
Every other game uses that terminology.
Right.
The only reason I push for it so hard here
Right.
is because items are called objects.
Yeah. Items.
That's the only reason I push for it here. So that and the fact that because we were doing RuneScape compatibility for a while there, I wanted it to be, describing correctly and not to mix up terms, so. But yeah, that's the other thing. We can also morph into like spooky, scary skeletons and stuff.
Yeah.
Is there a become skeleton?
Yeah.
There is a become. Yeah, see, we can do that kind of stuff.
Spooky. It's like UPN spooky time.
Pretty good.
This little bot right here is like what?
Can you like wear a rune plate body while as a skeleton? Well, I forget what spot I put it in. Yeah, just take it off, put it back on again. Oh. Interesting. I guess it's the same slot. I have it in the body slot. Maybe you can wear a skirt though.
Something that makes me kind of sad is that nobody customizes their bots' looks. Everybody just uses the default.
Unless you're the bearded lady, but then there's stats.
Yeah, some people do the bearded lady, but... Look at the skeleton go.
He's great.
These Bilbo Baggins will trade me.
No, do not.
He won't take
What part of free don't you understand?
Good. No.
Spooky, spooky skeleton. Someone closed the gate.
Hit. Oh wait, you're not on our client. Never mind. I was gonna say hit F4. As the skeleton, just hit F4.
So this chicken thing, there's been someone complaining about their chickens, and here's someone named Cluck
Well, you know what? That's a them issue because we can't police what the bot's doing. So.
They
If
stole
people
my
are griefing your
chickens.
bot, write better scripts.
And then I think it was Antara, which had the chicken
Antara.
pen. Yeah, I can't spell the darn place.
It's okay. No worries, man.
Town in Trana. There we go. And here's the chicken pen with a yolk.
Yolk. Good.
Do check yolk.
And they're a little customized.
Do check yolk.
Okay.
That'll leak their IP though.
Oh yeah, never mind. Don't do it. Yeah, that's right.
There's a command that would show all of their other characters. No?
No, well, it'll show it with their IP though.
If you're on a lesser, if you change your group, then it'll be okay to check them. But
yeah,
on
well,
an admin account,
You'll see everything. I can do it. Dude, I'm gonna do it. For some reason, the default client kicks me off every like 2 minutes, which makes me sad.
it never lets me downgrade my own group.
yeah,
I need to get RSC plus.
yeah.
Poultry, nugget, egg, yolk, hard boiled, cucko, cluck, all owned by the same person.
Someone
Very good.
really likes chickens.
They are probably in every single chicken coop. I would not be surprised if they're in every single chicken coop.
You stole my chickens, chicken man.
They took our nerves.
Oh,
Oh yeah, you gotta get the gloves.
It looks dangerously hot, and I
Didn't
have
we
no
do that
reason to
quest?
take it.
yeah, I think we did.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did do that quest.
There's someone with the little dragon zone.
wolf versus dragon.
Dragon wins.
Dragon wins.
I can
No
take out
doubt.
the babies.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If I remember right, we were like, what, halfway through the quests?
Did we not finish heroes?
Let's see.
I guess not.
Quests. Heroes is complete.
Oh, we did.
Cool.
I know we did Dragon Slayer.
Yes.
I think we did like half.
Yeah, I think if we can get a good little group together for the podcast on the 31st, so
We could do some quests before we do the handouts.
yeah.
We'll likely do the cabbage quest, the new one.
Oh, yeah, of course. But we probably want to save that for later in the day, don't we? That way we don't spoil it.
Well, I mean, yeah,
Sure.
so around 8 o'clock or so,
Yeah.
we can log in and do cabbage for the quest. I think that'd be fun for the podcast, for
Yeah.
everyone who wants to have a nice little walkthrough as well. I never actually finished the previous quest for Easter.
Oh, that was a really good quest.
It was great.
That was a really good quest.
Yeah.
Ryan did such a good job with the last one.
Yeah.
The hound looks so strange when fighting.
It
It's
does.
squished.
He squished.
I think that's like authentic too.
I mean,
Try to wear the skirt. Oh wait, no, you already are.
if you put it on and off again, it'll do something.
The spear looks good.
Pew. So I thought they had an axe in the other hand.
They have a scimitar, and you can, I think, you can become a scimitar skeleton if you know the right command.
Become should probably allow you to put it in whatever slot you desire.
It does. You can.
Oh, okay. So if you know the right command, you can become it.
Yeah, you can like wear bats as like legs, and then you get bat wings. It's great.
That's great.
Yeah. You just become a conglomeration.
That's great. I love it.
I do like that a lot.
A conglomeration of everything.
Become God.
That's great.
There we go. Now I'm a KBD. I too have the power of fire.
Of a baby dragon.
That works.
I have the power of anime and dragon breath.
Also, baby dragon don't give out dragon bones?
Big bones.
Huh. I did not know that.
Just a dragon walking down the middle of
Good
a
old
rock.
bear rock.
Oh, we could check out the dummies, see who's been beating up on the dummies.
See who's currently beating up on them. Other way.
Ah,
Yeah, they're at the East Bank. Only one person currently.
Novar 6-1.
Somebody customized their character. Doesn't look like he's actually using the dummy though. I'm sure he is, but it doesn't look like it.
You swing at the dummy, it's just only text. There's no animations.
Right. Just a KBD swinging at the dummy. Oh yeah, the museum. I do think we should do part of the podcast there next time. I love the museum. I'm sorry.
Log robbed the museum last time.
I did.
He did. I remember.
He, like, stole all the items.
Yeah.
Now Marvel's robbing the museum.
Well, dragons need things for their lairs.
Those are of appropriate vintage for a dragon's lair.
And now he's opening the chest and coffin.
I'm releasing all of the spirits. Hey, there's a complete skeleton in there. Excellent.
Very nice.
Very nice.
As part of my job, it's to talk to the bear.
Special unattackable bear.
I guess they didn't want people to range it.
Oh, right, yeah. I'm still curious why there's a bear in the museum anyway, but...
Yeah, that's true.
Why is there a bear in the museum?
That thing else up there.
And it's like on the upstairs, it's like empty otherwise, right?
Yeah. Strange.
So, it is strange, I don't understand why there's a bear.
Yeah, there's a complete blank why there would be a bear.
This is the NPC.
It would make sense if the bear was like stationary and like presumed stuffed.
Right, yeah, that would make sense. And maybe that's what they were going for, actually.
Yeah. They would have to set the wander distance to 0.
I wonder if they did. Do we
I
have
wonder
a
if they did.
to show that?
Yeah, I'm sure I went up there.
There we go. It's NPC 45.
Picking boundaries make the game lag, though. Which makes me sad.
Picking boundaries.
Yeah, when he enabled it, it made the game lag.
Now I have a double. Yeah, I noticed that. It was a little slow. The axe is in the other hand. The skirt, okay.
Take it off and put it back on.
Nice. That makes sense.
Yeah, because
Yeah, because the skeleton's in the body slot,
it
right?
actually has legs. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Spooky.
Awesome.
What? What?
Great.
That's even more crazy. That's not what Nipples looks like.
This is crazy.
I like it.
We don't need our skirt, we can just be with the legs.
Oh, wait. Ryan's here.
That's fancy. I really like that. Hi, Ryan. If you are indeed here.
He's in here. He's just not told me.
There is a Ryan and a Luis and a Papillion.
A Peplo.
Ah. I wonder who I can spook here. Let's go to...
They're all bots.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to hop to find someone that's not a bot.
Well, there is RSC from Preservation I could go to.
Is anybody online?
There might be one person.
There's 3 online in Cabbage, it says. I like how the online counter has a bot icon now.
Yeah.
I think that's the right way to do it. Just have a bot icon.
I'm gonna have to become Marwolf here.
Makes sense.
And... oh, Shadow just logged out.
Oh, Mr. Chance. Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah.
R2H Selfie just went in.
Oh. Oh boy.
And he's gotta be playing, so...
There we go. Human contact made.
You've got your scimitar. And a cape. That's great. I love it. He's skeleton with a cape.
Do I scare you?
Or high.
What the heck? There we go.
There you go.
Nice. Very nice. I wonder what it looks like when you wear an amulet. As a dog, as a wolf.
True. Kind of like gets in his face.
You gotta wear your Sonichu medallion.
Yes.
No take, only throw.
He's the only one online. Don't give him fluffs. Oh wait, no, that's not fluffs. That's just a regular cat, right? Oh no, that is fluffs.
Well, even if he did drop it, can't pick him up.
Oh, that's good. You
Yeah,
can actually add that in there.
that's part of the quest. You can't pick up fluffs.
I'm just giving him a genome ball.
Gino.
Gino. That's the thing, we need to add in the other worlds to RC Plus, so that way,
Good do.
because we can, I think, or will it crash if it has the custom things in view? I thought it just wouldn't render it.
Once we add custom landscapes, which we already have, then it'll be an issue.
I need to find the That would be nice.
Yeah, that's what I thought we were talking about too, but I think he was talking about RSC Plus on the Cabbage server.
Yeah,
So that way I
he
can.
is, but it just came to mind.
Yeah. How many gnome balls have you given him, and how many has he given back?
I think it's the same number. I think it's the same one.
Oh, is he? He's
Yep.
throwing it back?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
He's throwing it back. Yeah.
I think it's all the same one.
Oh, okay, that's good.
It makes me kind of sad that nobody plays Preservation anymore.
They do. It's just, you know,
A
RuneScape
weird
class.
time of day.
It is that too. It's a weekday.
Oh yeah, if I remember right, the wolf held the axe funny.
The wolf held axe is awesome.
Yeah,
It worked.
It kind of works. The amulet doesn't work, but
Amulet doesn't work.
the axe works.
Axe totally works.
Here it's
Look,
just like.
it's like Zamazenta putting it in his mouth.
Yeah, almost in his mouth. Yeah.
Do we have to like get a custom item that a wolf can hold in its mouth?
Probably
That'd
should.
be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
It's just I always want to be on Uranium because there's just so many boss
There's
running
actually
around.
people
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
There's more people.
And when we do the quests, we can actually like encounter people.
Right.
Granted, they may not be paying attention to us, but
Yes.
There's always someone to the chicken pen.
there's always somebody in one of the chicken pens. Yes, this is a fact. You can always find company in the chicken pen.
And for a while there, I think there was even someone who was in the cooking. I don't know, the cooking guild or whatever this.
That's just the Lumbridge Windmill.
That makes me remember how bad the sound effects were on this game.
Yeah.
Most of them are bad, but Level Up is like really, really good.
Yeah, but it's low quality.
It's high quality. Wave. Can't get more pure.
I mean,
I also never played really with the sound effects kids.
whoever drew the grapes really put a lot of effort in.
Yeah,
For sure.
'cause I didn't get members until late.
Yeah, I didn't ever play with sound on.
I had to have that terrible 2000s era music on.
What's wrong with 2000s era music? I think it's good.
Smash Mouth, Linkin
What's wrong with
Park.
Smash Mouth, Linkin Park, System of a Down? What's wrong with any of those? Sum 41, Blink 182.
Yup.
What's wrong with any of those?
There's a time and there's a place. Pokemon.
Gotta catch one.
But yeah, chocolate bar. I can certainly eat chocolate's okay.
No, you're a
No,
dog.
you're a dog.
No.
Don't eat chocolate.
We could give trick-or-treaters chocolate.
You know,
Okay.
cats can't eat chocolate either.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah, are we doing the, we should be doing the trick-or-treat crackers on, cabbage and coleslaw, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Well, actually, coleslaw is just getting pumpkins this year.
No trick-or-treat crackers for coleslaw?
No, we're kind of slow leaking in the authentic items for coleslaw because we didn't do Easter last, Easter on coleslaw.
Do you think there's enough people that would care?
If
I
we
don't
did
know. A lot of people
crackers.
like coleslaw.
Okay.
Yeah,
But cabbage should be getting trick-or-treat crackers.
Yeah.
for sure.
Because we said that we're going to keep dropping those every single year on cabbage.
Yeah, Cabbage has a special Cabbage holiday drop command, which does both trick-or-treat crackers and sides at the same time. But the sides are like 30 minutes offset.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can set that up manually too.
Yeah, that's true.
I think there was an issue where you can't have 2 holiday drop events running at the same time. It would tell you.
Should have fixed that then.
Yeah, well, it was by design. You didn't want to have start one and then start a second one accidentally.
Oh right, yeah, that's true. It probably was by design so that you didn't do 2 at the same time on accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I added a command for having the simultaneous trick-or-treat crackers and sides.
Yeah, that's fair. The axe on the dog.
It's awesome.
That kills me.
It was always possible for JMods to transform into a hellhound and wield a dragon axe.
I don't think they ever did, though.
But they never did.
Yeah.
But
it
was always possible.
I'm surprised they never thought about that.
Yeah, they were doing better things, I guess. Adding entire regions to the game.
I feel like they would have done it if they would have thought about it.
Yeah, and they definitely did later. They, in OSRS, the JMods will transform into boats and things.
Right, yeah.
They just didn't have enough time to think about doing it. They were still creating massive swaths of the game.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess they were pretty much just, adding new content, for the entire 3 years that Classic was actually, running.
RuneScape 2 started development right around when Members came out in February of 2002.
Right.
So they really had their hands full.
Right. They really wanted RuneScape 2 really early on.
Yep. The 3D update.
That still to this day, that's not RuneScape to me. Even to this day, I don't consider RS2 OSRS.
This is the only game that was called RuneScape and nothing else for a certain time period.
Yep.
This is the only RuneScape to me.
Every other RuneScape had a qualifier. RuneScape 2, RuneScape 3, OSRS. They've never called that RuneScape.
There was a Darkscape.
RS3 just called RuneScape now, though?
Well, that same with RS2. They as soon as it came out, they called it RuneScape, but
right.
It was also called RuneScape 2, and RuneScape Classic is the only game that was only called RuneScape for a period of time.
For when it was actually running.
For when it was the main game, right?
Yeah.
So, this is RuneScape.
It's so weird that this game, RuneScape Classic, has such a huge impact on a lot of us. But when you actually sit there and think about it, it was only running for 3 years.
Yeah, when you're a kid though, a year is a lot longer.
Oh, absolutely, right. That's one of the things that I'm kind of saying.
Yeah, it did. It had a big impact.
Right, and it was only running for 3 years, and that entire 3 years they were adding new stuff. So what we see as the entire game wasn't the entire game until for 2 months.
Right.
He's standing on the big bone spawn.
Is he? Well, I bet he's only getting one every time it spawns.
There's another. Yeah.
He is. He's only standing there for whatever reason.
Probably hard to be attacked on right here. Not that many.
I'm not sure, but I feel like this guy's been doing it ever since we had that bug a long time ago now. When
Which bug?
The bug where you could pick up like more than one big bones if you were quick about it.
Oh, yeah, that applied to anything.
That's right. So I think he might just be using the script from back then.
Yeah, probably.
Click a million times.
Honestly, the bones do spawn quick enough, inauthentically, I think, that walking over to the other big bones might not be worth it.
Maybe.
I mean, you could just go between two big bones.
Yeah, those bones they're bones. They could be walked between. They're closer together.
Be nice if you could take bones and a skull and put them in the coffin and summon things.
That would be really nice.
That is one quest.
That is something we could do for cabbage. At some
I mean, that's the Restless Ghost quest. You take the skull and put it in the coffin.
Yeah. You know, if we
right,
had
but we could expand upon it.
necromancy, bad, evil magic.
Evil magic, yeah. Maybe that's a 2001 scape. Like,
Yeah.
aren't we planning to have 2 different 2001 scape servers?
The other one, the custom one, is going to be called RSC Kale, and I'm absolutely sure we will implement a raised skeleton spell at some point.
Yeah. RSC Kale.
A fear
Isn't
spell.
there like botting versions of both of those servers too?
I'm sure we will.
Botting versions of both of those servers would be interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point we do have to certainly draw the limit. We don't want to go too far apart, but you know, I've got the hardware that I can run, and the bandwidth that I have 4.
Adding in 4 more worlds is nothing to our infrastructure, is what he's trying to say.
Yeah, the only thing is that we just want to make sure it's more than so many players.
Yep.
You know, if we have a bunch of bot worlds, but only 2 of them are popular, you know, that's, I don't know. But either way, it's a good game mechanic that, almost like RSC Kale, maybe we could just not worry about bots on that one.
Probably.
Let it be custom.
Because coleslaw is not as popular as uranium, right? So
There's not going to be a botting client immediately available.
that's the other thing, right? Yeah, there won't be a botting client.
Scar.
We got kind of lucky that Dvorak was working on idle RSC because there just wouldn't be a client
One for cabbage, yeah.
cabbage otherwise. Except, yeah, Pyramid actually did work on one.
That's true.
Yeah, Pyramid did later, but it would have taken months.
Right.
So
There would have been coleslaw that had no players playing.
and
I mean, there was a long time that
yeah.
only like 10 people were online at coleslaw, though. It was like during the time we had like 400 average on uranium.
Yeah, and now there's
400, 450. I think we hit 500 once.
We did.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah, I mean, right now there's 293 on uranium and 62 cyborgs on coleslaw. So it's ticked up a little bit.
Yeah, coleslaw's ticked up. Uranium's gone down a little bit, but that's fine. 300 average is still decent, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, I think some people didn't like to compete with so many bots, and so they chose to go with the other one.
Right, and that's why I wish we had the login server, because we would have probably so many players if we actually had the login server, because then there would be less competition, right? So.
Yep.
That's true. Yeah, at least for uranium, because it has such a significant load, especially on login, with the server startup, with everyone trying to connect at once with their bots. I'm looking at building multiple Intel NUC servers. They each have 64 gigs of RAM and 2 terabytes of storage each, dedicated Core i7 processors with 8 cores. Just one Linux VM for each physical box in some sort of an ESXi environment, something to let it be easier to manage. But then at that point, maybe just bare metal, whatever. But let uranium and or coleslaw share one dedicated server, and then website, preservation, cabbage, 2001 Scape, OpenPK, let that be on another one. And then at that point, if we need more, then there's more that we can go into, or they can just be home lab for testing development stuff. But
and we could also put, different worlds on different data centers, like we have,
yeah,
because I've got a machine that's sitting around that we can put a new world onto.
Yeah, it's just we have some sort of a login server to help. Then absolutely.
We're gonna have a Tennessee data center come online. We're gonna have a Florida data center.
We would.
Then we just need to have database replication between, and would be set.
Yeah, that's the thing. What I remember is that I had generated some instructions of some things that needed to be completed before we can start on the login server to flow, less things into the database, right?
Mm-hmm.
To only do character information in the database is what we were trying to move to.
At least in a way, if we could have the domain set up with the A records,
Yeah.
where there are a few, there's a certain IP address, but then there's a failover, and then there's another
Right.
failover. So if it can't connect, then it goes some sort of a connection. Maybe it's just in the client. Whatever we need to do, so that way, if one is down, the databases are all replicating no matter what, and then we just have servers that are running. Maybe I don't know. I'm just thinking about if there's a power surge or.
Yeah, I was gonna say we might want like a cloud provider to run the master login server, right? We might want a cloud provider to do that. Like a $5 a month VM. All it needs to do is run the database and accept connections and redirect people's IP, to the right server.
And then
that's all it needs to do. It needs to be a router,
down,
basically.
Yeah.
Router. Canadian for router.
Okay.
It is.
Is it?
I think it's actually UK English router.
That's just kind of how I say it sometimes.
Okay, we're like a global human race now. We have UK English.
But no, like it would also be ideal if we could make like that same, $5 or $10 a month VPS, act as a router, so that we can, obfuscate the 3 data centers, right? So.
Yeah, as long as there's some point where everyone connects, and then they need individual worlds, or let them pick. That login server can be centralized. Yeah, that sounds great.
I just don't know if there'd be too much traffic for like a cheap VPS to be able to handle,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was paying like $20 a month, and that was hosting everything at one point, and we didn't.
And
have
we
any
weren't
issues.
even like hitting. Yeah, we weren't even hitting caps at all. But that was also the game.
Yeah.
It's not like router software. So. I guess. So like, and if it's a router itself, it can handle failover.
Router. At least it's better than thank you one word.
What's wrong with thank you one word? What's wrong with thank you one word?
It's our favorite.
I still use it to this day.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that still uses it?
No, I do.
Unironically.
Yeah, I do actually unironically use it. Thank you one word.
Oh, there's some people hunting the red dragon. Herbie and Sheep 1. Oh, and Zeus.
It looks like they're coordinating.
Oh, there's even another person here. Harud. If I were a PKer, I would love to PK some bots. I wonder if they have defense scripts built in or not.
They probably have auto logout, I would guess.
Oh, they're not logging out from me.
Well, I feel like they're two different people, because why would you set up 4 bots to kill 2 dragons?
Well, they also look... 2 of them look the same, but then the other 2 are different.
Right.
They should be fighting each other.
They should be.
Yes.
They honestly should be.
They have a truce.
They have a truce that should not last forever.
That's,
You know,
that's
you
one
have,
of the more interesting things I've seen.
you have a problem with the people in your chicken area. Well, why don't you PK them if they're in the wilderness?
Right?
In my dragon area.
Yeah, we need to find some time at some point to do the login server stuff. Because having multiple worlds would solve, almost all of people's complaints.
Yeah.
We also don't want to be too generous and like 10 worlds for uranium, right? We probably want 5, I would guess.
5?
Yeah.
And maybe 1 or 2 for coleslaw. Like 1 or 2 total.
Veteran world somehow.
Yeah, like have 2 for coleslaw, the original and the veteran world, and then have preservation and cabbage only need 1.
Yeah.
If it gets bigger, we can adjust, right? So
I'd probably run more servers for those as well, just to have it's like part of the
well, the memory footprint of a server that has nobody connected is like 63 megabytes, so
yeah, so you can run multiple.
And almost no CPU, so
World hopping is just like even without players, it's part of the game to be able to world hop and buy things and kill things.
that's true. That's fair enough. But the point is, it takes like almost no resources to spin up a new world.
Yeah.
The issue is that none of them have connected databases right now.
Yep, so with 300 or almost 300 players, we're using 2 gigs of memory.
Oh.
With
I mean, it's
free.
been on for a long time too, right?
And what's the server time? Like the tick time?
Is that listed there?
Yeah, pull it back up. I'm just curious what a random sampling is. 159 milliseconds.
It's only 139 milliseconds per tick.
You have 640 millisecond budget, and we're using 160.
That's fine.
Yeah, certainly not slow or anything.
And this is all single threaded too.
Server uptime command.
Is there one? There should be.
If there's not, there should be.
Yeah, there should be.
There isn't one.
I know we track the time that the server started.
We can check current time.
Yeah.
Funny command.
We do track. We do track the time that the server was started.
Okay, right.
So it should
It's
be
in log
easy to get
files.
uptime.
But
Yeah.
But yeah, to my point earlier, like what we need to do is we need to move everything that's not like player data to some other file, and
Yes.
even the logs, like all of the logs, can just be log4j.
Because I absolutely have to clear them out daily on uranium and coleslaw. Otherwise, the database backups every hour just are massive.
Yeah, so log4j should be all the logs we need, really. The other thing is, if we do that, we want to increase the time that logs are saved when we do log4j. That's the only thing I would add. Make it like a month of data that we save from log4j.
Yeah, I mean,
sure, it might be, a few gigabytes of data per world, but, on a terabyte hard drive, we got the space.
Plenty.
because it's all text, and there is a lot of text that go in those logs, but
It compresses.
it compresses, like Log said, text compresses really well, and number two, in the end of the day, even if there's a lot of text, it is still just text.
I can understand where it'd be nice to be able to query items that have been dropped or picked up or traded from a abuse or bot checking perspective, but I don't know. I'll maybe give that just as an option on the server config.
Right. Well, we would need to rethink the login server structure. Otherwise, we're sending way too many queries to it off on the network, right? So we would need to rethink the structure if we did that.
I mean, there used to be that one server iteration. We had a database for players, a database for logs, a database for NPCs and items and objects.
Oh, for all the spawns, yeah.
Yeah, the old RSC server.
I mean, those were nice. It just doesn't fit into the login server model well. It fits in, but not well. Because in the login server model, you really just want the login server to be the database.
I think I don't know, it was a number of months ago when we did our first podcast, we had a PK event that was hosted, and that was pretty popular. Some sort of a scheduled calendar-based event would be nice.
Yeah, all the other private servers do that kind of thing regularly.
Mm-hmm.
Except for they all do it like regularly.
It's a good idea to have,
especially for Uranium, to give people like a reason to use their bots, right?
Yeah. You could do a hide and go seek. It could just be a general
I would
meetup.
love a hide and go seek. Like maybe we should do one during the podcast, and like we can give hints.
Yeah.
If you solve the riddle, you get 30 pumpkins. If you find me, you get 30.
Yeah.
Something like that,
You know, we could even have just kind of a general meetup where we're in the Discord voice chat, screen record like a podcast in a way, but we just have it for an hour, and it's kind of a general, anyone can log in, join the voice chats.
Like a long podcast where we have a segment that is open.
Yes. We all just meet somewhere like the pub here, and we just talk about anything and everything. It's kind of like the old town hall ones that we did a few times there. Where anyone can just come in and talk about things and ideas and what they want to see.
Even if it wasn't game related, you can come and say hi.
And we just have to keep buying beer to keep the bartender in business.
Yeah, no, let's do that. Let's plan on like having like a long podcast on the 31st. Starting at, I don't know, what would be a good time to start? Maybe like 7?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't work for everyone's time zone. If people based in Europe are going to have it's going to be way after for them. And
it's going to be way after for them, yeah.
Maybe 4 in the
And we don't want to do it literally all day, do we? It's like we will go from 4, what's that, Log?
Well, I gotta like hand out candy too, so 7 is still trick-or-treating hours.
Yeah, I mean, what if it was earlier? So roughly 4 p.m.
What if we did like 4 to 6, or 4 to like 6, and then like 8 to 10?
Yeah,
something like that.
That would be good.
That way, Eastern, American and European can both participate.
Yeah. So we can do 2 sessions of the podcast, like either 4 to 6, or 8 to 10, or 8 to whenever we decide to go to bed, right?
Yeah.
And we'll plan it to be on Halloween Day. I got nothing going on that day, but the day before, going out with a bunch of friends. We're actually doing a friend group costume. We're all gonna be the 7 deadly sins, but we're all like gonna dress up as priests.
Nice.
I'm obviously gonna be a devil priest.
A devil priest?
Yeah.
What sin are you?
I'm pride.
Right.
They laugh because they know it's true.
Not wrong to have pride when you're genuinely really great.
They laugh because they know it's true. That is the one that fits me the best. Yeah, we got one for each of the person. We got a gluttony person. We got an envy person. We even have a sloth person, and like he wasn't there when we were deciding to do costumes. And it's like, oh, that fits so well. He's definitely sloth.
Right.
And we got a lust. Yeah, we got all of them.
Does the become command work externally? Can you transform other players?
You can. If you're an admin, you're able to.
Okay.
Yeah, you probably have to be an admin to do that, though.
That's correct. You have to be an admin to transform other players.
So then we could have all the attendees be transformed into ghosts,
Yeah.
skeletons, and zombies.
That was
We could also for like that day in time, like anybody who enters the zone could just be auto transformed.
we wanted to do that. Yeah, that was an idea we had.
That would be kind of cool if we did that. We might need to also do some updates to like make the party chest work in the drainer basement, the coffin there. I actually kind of do want to do that.
We could do it and give it like a radius.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should also do it in a couple other places that we think of, like maybe this pub here.
Yeah.
The pub would probably be a good place, right?
Oh yeah.
Where else would be a good place? Oh, I want to do the museum. I just love the museum.
What if it's an
Pay me for
object?
but I love it.
We spawn the object and then it works anywhere we are.
So the issue with that is we'd have to do it at a radius,
Mhm.
and if the radius is like a little bit larger than the pub, something will spawn outside of it. So we can do it, it's just not going to be perfect.
I see.
But yes, we can do it if we like that idea.
If we did it within 4 tiles and we knew where to put it, like here or I don't know. Over
We could
here.
also we could probably spawn it in a way that we can determine the radius. I'm just trying to think how that would work. I don't think scenery have any metadata, do they, Log?
I mean, what metadata would there's X and Y coordinate and
It doesn't have anything other than X, Y, and rotation, right? Like there's no other.
And rotation's not even part of scenery, it's part of the map.
You know what I'm trying to say, though. Like I'm trying to
Right.
think how we could store a radius.
Yeah, it's like it's just X and Y is in the scenery.
Like I can drop a beer under the chair. And I can come
We
back
could-
and take the beer.
We could probably add. Yeah, items are allowed to exist on the same tile as scenery. Yeah.
Yep.
If I drop it on the table, it's now on top of the table.
Yep.
And we can also set to spawn like beers all day in here too, for example. Like on the tables, we could set it to spawn beers all day long. There's an item. There's like a replenishing item command that you can do.
Oh.
I forget what it is, but it'll like make an item spawn that it'll respawn after so many times.
Huh.
I forget what it is, but there is a command for it, and it'll respawn too. But as far as the chest goes, I'm trying to think how we could pass in a radius from the command. There's a I think it's called party chest.java.
Yeah.
I think we could like pass into the I think for each chest that's created. I don't know, is it a global event? I don't remember. I need to look into it. But we could just make a new instance for each chest. I don't think it's. I think it's actually a plugin now.
Mhm.
I think we
Yeah,
made
it was
it
a
into a
plugin.
plugin. Like it wasn't originally a plugin, but I made it into a plugin at some
Mhm.
point.
Yep.
So there's not a great way to do it.
And the upstairs here, there's not a lot of room either.
But we could hard code a radius of like 4 or 5. But the only issue is going to be like if you're not perfect, it can spawn outside.
Yeah.
The good news is that it'll check for like blocking objects and it won't spawn anything. So no matter where you do it, it'll find a legal target.
That's good.
It just the legal target may not make sense for what we want.
Okay.
Like even here in this inn, like a 4 radius would be too much. You would need a 3 radius.
That's still not a lot of room. This.
3 by 3.
Yeah.
Actually, it would be 6 by. Actually, it would be 7 by 7 technically.
Okay.
A square that's 7 by 7 would fit this.
Yep.
It would fit the museum, I think. Yeah, we could look into that. Like if it's not in Sears, give it a hard-coded radius.
Yeah.
The only thing is that doesn't account for the coffin. So we'd have to add the coffin to the list of scenery that are handled by the party chest.
Yep.
Which I think there's already a list because I think you can add stuff to the party chest even when it's closed, if I remember right. Cool, so that's one change that we need to make. We need to make the party chest a little bit more flexible. And want to think of what the command is that allows you to spawn stuff that respawns. Like, you create a spawner for an item. I know that exists.
It's all documented in the commands.md file.
Yeah.
So you can just look it up there.
There's like a respawn time in one of them, and that's the one we want. And we'll just, stand on the tables, each of the tables, and say, respawn a beer every minute.
No, I don't want to buy anything.
What's on the upstairs here?
It's a bedroom.
Just a bedroom.
And a chest, I believe, for that one quest.
That's a little bit more than that.
That's for
It's an inn. Yeah. It's like an actual inn.
Yeah, there's nothing too fancy.
I don't think that wizard's special, is he?
He's from the Family Crest quest.
Oh, he is special. Yeah, you're right. There probably was no NPCs there out there originally, and then they added the quest.
I can go on top of the bar here and
You can add beer here.
yeah, beer or thread.
Why thread?
It was what I found from the others.
Oh, it's just what you had in your inventory.
Yeah.
Got it.
Free thread. I think there's a thing where you could, if you had a beer, that you could return to the bar here and refill it yourself.
I don't think that's the case.
It was a private server thing.
Oh, okay.
You could use the beer glass on the bar.
I don't think that's kosher.
Yeah. Not allowed to fill your own beer for free.
I think we talked about this last time.
Yeah, and I'm like, every time I see it, I miss it.
I mean, we can add it for cabbage.
That would be fine.
Yeah.
It could be done.
I would not be upset with something like that for cabbage.
During event, free beer for everyone, free refills.
Yeah, we can activate it only for, like, Halloween.
It could be part of the thieving skill. That would be funny.
Ooh, that would be, actually, to add it to the thieving skill.
Pickpocket
Yeah.
or fill it without the bartender's eye. It's like a cake booth.
Yeah, exactly.
I would like that.
Realistically, that's...
I would like that. That's how I would like it.
Yeah, it's in the style. You can be caught by the bartender and then attacked.
Not attacked. You'd just be caught by the bartender.
Yeah.
Because we don't want the bartender to die. So.
I mean, the mugger might come up.
The thief.
Or the Black Knight. The Black Knight would be way more appropriate.
Yeah.
And you get a certain number of thieving experience.
He's supposed to be evil.
Sinister, yeah, he's not.
Maybe a hired hand for this bartender.
Dr. Harlow.
It's great.
Yeah. So I think we've got some ideas to implement. And
did you put that thread there?
Yeah, I did.
Yes, you did.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll try to finish up our super secret Halloween event quest thing, mini event for Cabbage.
Yep.
And figure out some time for Halloween to do a little podcast, maybe a little slosh thing. We can all come together here at the bar and whatever else we want to do.
That'd be nice.
Could even throw pumpkins in the chest and let that be the way for people to get them.
Yeah, we can firm up some times as we get closer.
Oh.
But tentatively, I think 2 to 4 and 8 to 10 sounds good.
2 to 4 or 4 to 6?
Sorry, I apologize. 4 to 6. I mean, we could do 2 to 4.
We could. I wonder if there'd be more interest at 2 to 4 or 4 to 6. I know 6 only gets a 2-hour break between that and 8 to 10.
2 to 4 is pretty uncontested for Halloween.
Yeah, 4 to 6 is more rubbing up against trick-or-treating time than 2 to 4 is.
Okay, yeah, maybe 2 to 4 then.
Or even 3 to 5. I don't know.
I'm wondering what time that is in Europe. I gotta try to 5 and.
I'm pretty sure it's at 6 this time of year.
Yeah, so 2 to 4, so that would be starting at +5.
Yes.
Oh, it's +5. Okay.
Or it might be +4.
I'm not sure. Depends on.
Yeah, so you could do GMT so right now we're Eastern Daylight Time to GMT. That is a 4-hour differential. So if it was
2 to 4 is probably better.
Yeah, 2 p.m. that'd be 6 o'clock p.m. in GMT. But if we were doing CEST, Central,
Which is what they actually use, I think.
Yeah, they're on +1 in London right now.
Yeah,
so there's CEST right now.
Central European summertime. So if you're in Poland or Germany or a lot of parts in Europe, 2 p.m. would be 8 p.m. for them.
Well, that happens
6 hours.
Of our second podcast.
So we could do 2 to 4 and then 8 to 10.
Yeah, because 8
makes sense.
would be 2 in the morning for them. So yeah, I think we could get both theaters pretty well covered.
I don't think we have a lot of Asian players.
No?
Yeah, German.
Pyramid is the only one I can think of, yeah.
Yeah, it's maybe for the later block. I don't even know if that would work.
Tokyo is +14.
Yeah.
So you gotta add 19 hours to 2. Well, so that's 14 plus 19, right? It's a pretty easy math equation.
So 8 p.m. EDT to Japanese time. Google says it's 9 in the morning.
Hey, that works.
So it would technically work for them, but it'd be the next day.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're used to that.
If it was 2 p.m., then it would be 3 a.m. in Tokyo. So, yeah. I don't know if Pyramid's an early riser. It would be a Monday morning.
There's a time frame that works for everybody.
Yeah.
Unless you're somewhere in Siberia.
Yeah, then you have to catch the podcast recording.
Right. Yeah, no, I think that'll be a good time. We should probably announce our intention of doing it at those 2 time frames. And at some point, obviously, we'll do a quest or two. I would love for us to be able to do a quest or two during that time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a lot of time coming up in November.
Yeah, my Mondays and Tuesdays are free.
Monday nights are pretty good for me,
Hmm.
so that could be an option.
Sunday nights, as long as we don't go past like 11, is also free. So
Okay, sounds good.
but
Yeah.
that same rule is there for Mondays too. Let's just not go past 11.
Yeah,
Hard stop at 12. Even if we're in the middle of the quest, we have to stop at 12.
I don't have the energy to stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning on a weeknight anymore. Cool. All right.
But yeah, let's announce our intentions and go from there.
Yeah.
And on the later one, I mean, we can just stay on until we're all tired or done with it. You know what I mean?
Yes. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll chat internally, and then we'll put out an announcement once we're officially knowing what we're ready for. And yeah, cool.
Cool.
So yeah, we've been going for what, an hour and a half here. So
Longer than we said.
probably good to wrap it.
Indeed.
But yeah, it's been good to catch up and do more of these.
Yeah, it's a very productive meeting.
All right, we'll catch y'all later.
Catch y'all
See ya.
later.
All right, bye.